right, black and white sports supporters. Well, my goodness, I got to give Caitlin Clark fans a lot of credit. Y'all did not miss. You did not miss. A lot of people, a lot of slows on the Twitter and on the social media space right now doing their little victory laps over that scam known as Unrivaled.
What was once proclaimed as a landmark moment in women's basketball is now falling apart under closer examination. The attendance numbers that fueled celebratory headlines are rapidly unraveling, exposing a story sustained by questionable figures and ethical ambiguity. What was presented as a historic breakthrough increasingly looks like a carefully engineered illusion built on exaggeration and selective framing. As clarity replaced hype, admiration turned into skepticism, leaving fans feeling deceived and undervalued. This wasn't a harmless miscalculation. It was a deliberate production that collapsed under its own weight, igniting an unprecedented demand for accountability across the sports landscape.
The space right now doing their little victory laps over that scam known as Unrivaled's greatest basketball day in the history of women's anything. By the way, on a side note, you know, there was a volleyball game at Nebraska, women's, that drew 92,000 fans. Is that something I shouldn't bring up, or unrivaled? Too soon for me to bring that up? Because you got people doing the largest attendance ever for a women's sporting event. No.
Social media wasted no time declaring the moment Unrivaled's crowning achievement and a defining breakthrough for women's sports as a whole. Influencers and media personalities quickly pushed the storyline, presenting it as irrefutable evidence of extraordinary success. Yet beneath the avalanche of praise, quiet doubts began to take shape. As the initial hype faded, discrepancies surfaced, figures, assertions, and timelines that didn't quite add up. What had been hailed as a historic triumph soon found itself under growing scrutiny, raising serious questions about whether it ever truly deserved the monumental label it was given.
For me to bring that up, because you got people doing the largest attendance ever for a women's sporting event. No, false. Oh, 21,490. I know earlier where I just came right out and said this is some scammy, shady bullshit. Excuse my language. Because if you don't think for a second that politically driven corporations didn't get involved in this, if you don't think they didn't find a way to give out tickets to everything they possibly could.
The boast of the largest crowd ever assembled for a women's sporting event collapsed almost immediately. A single, undeniable reality punctured the hype: a Nebraska women's volleyball match, largely overlooked by the same voices amplifying this claim, had already attracted more than 92,000 spectators. That widely verified record, achieved without a similar media blitz, exposed the unrivaled assertion as not just exaggerated, but plainly false. The aftermath spoke volumes. The loudest promoters of the so-called milestone abruptly fell silent, a quiet concession that the story could not withstand even minimal scrutiny.
Celebrities buy pools of tickets. I heard that a WNBA player bought 60 tickets for friends and family. You see, one damn player bought 60 tickets. You see how that works? This is some BS. All right? And I called it out earlier. I said, look, if you guys believe this is legit, without no help from woke corporations buying pools of tickets, woke celebrities buying tickets, you're as deluded.
Unrivaled's verified attendance eventually landed at 21,490, a number disclosed only after the initial celebration had already run its course. On its own, the turnout was solid, but it stood in stark contrast to the record-breaking assertions that had dominated early headlines. That gulf between the hype and the hard data laid bare a serious credibility problem, fueling doubts about how the narrative was constructed. For many, it didn't register as an innocent misstep, but as a deliberate attempt to steer perception. What unfolded felt less like miscommunication and more like a calculated bait-and-switch played out in public view.
Look, if you guys believe this is legit, without no help from woke corporations buying pools of tickets, woke celebrities buying tickets, you're as delusional as the players that won't sign to CBA right now. So, some people tried to bring Caitlin Clark into this. Oh, look at all the people here, and Caitlin Clark's nowhere to be seen. Well, yeah, she's not playing in that ratchet-ass league, that 3x3 league that is literally hanging on by a thread. My boy Ben Daniel, in his video earlier,
What started as hushed murmurs quickly hardened into outright allegations of corporate manipulation. Detractors claimed that politically driven entities had woven themselves into the event, not to genuinely support women's sports, but to push a carefully scripted agenda. The strategy, they argued, was understated yet deliberate. Large blocks of tickets acquired in bulk, then widely handed out, manufacturing the appearance of massive demand. This, critics insisted, had little to do with real fan enthusiasm. It was an exercise in optics, using institutional power to stage a visual victory and control the storyline. As the scrutiny deepened, the motive became harder to conceal, revealing a starkly cynical layer beneath the polished celebration.
the one that broke the women's attendance. Oh, shit. It's a bad idea. You went out there running your mouth. It was a bad idea because you got checked. Somebody checked your head right off your neck. Right out of the gate, J-Mac. Oh, you mean this 55,000 right here with Caitlin Clark? It was one game, not two. Yeah, by the way, wasn't this like an unrivaled doubleheader?
Concrete examples soon surfaced, strengthening the rising skepticism. Reports circulated of a prominent WNBA player allegedly purchasing 60 tickets to hand out to friends and family. While the act itself may have been well-intentioned, it became a telling symbol of how effortlessly attendance numbers could be inflated. If one person could make that kind of dent, the cumulative effect of corporate sponsors or high-profile affiliates was impossible to dismiss. The resulting image was troubling, a turnout propped up not by organic, paying fans, but by strategically distributed seats, further eroding trust in the event's legitimacy.
Over 55,000 fans showed up. Oh, you done called the fans out now. That right there, this is the University of Iowa. Heard of it? The Hawkeyes, they literally put a basketball game in the football stadium. That's what they did. They told Kurt Ferentz and whichever future NFL tight end on the team, y'all going to have to get off the field. Y'all going to have to get off the field because Caitlin Clark's going to play. So let me just give you a little specific here. The Iowa Hawkeyes played a historic women's